Welcome, everybody. Today, our Amnesty program for parking and traffic tickets officially launches. The program will run from June 1st until August 31st. It's a 3-month program. It's been a long time in the making. It's required a lot of coordination between multiple vendors, and we're excited. Promise, who is our vendor, who's helping us with these partial payment plans, which these flexible payment plans will give motorists a chance to pay delinquent tickets without late fees. And by entering into these flexible payment plans that will extend up to 12 months, we're excited for motorists to be able to pay back into the system what is their fair share, but also meet people where they are in terms of a lot of people, may have had these tickets sitting around on their refrigerator, on their tables, on their kitchen counters for 10 years, and so to give them this opportunity to enter into this payment plan, I think is huge, and we're excited for the possibility to partner with Promise, and open to any questions.
Austin, the Office of Debt Recovery indicated that it would start receiving accounts this fall. Can you walk me through the thought process of bringing in a state agency to collect on this money?
Sure. As you reported on in the past, Chris, it's a great question. As it stands now, there's not a lot of teeth in terms of what the city can do. Promise, as I mentioned, the third-party contractor, they've been doing work for Sewage and Water Board, but unlike Sewage and Water Board, the city doesn't have the ability to turn off your water. So there aren't a lot of teeth that the city can enforce, but Office of Debt Recovery, they do have those teeth. And so the city didn't think it was right to just send folks straight to the Office of Debt Recovery. We wanted to give them an opportunity to enter into these flexible payment plans, to give them an opportunity to make it right, to pay for the resources that have been expended, and then we can consider our options come fall, based on certain things like has that person made a good faith effort? Did they default? What's the threshold? That we would send folks to ODR. I think there are a lot of considerations, so we've been working through that with the folks at ODR, and they've been great.
The city council has indicated, or at least Councilman Giarrusso, saying go for the big fish first. He said something effective, I don't care about mom and pop who's got $20, I care for the tens of thousands of dollars. How big of a factor will the amount owed be in sending them to ODR or not?
So we've talked about a variety of numbers. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. I think first we want to start with the partial payment plans and the amnesty period and kind of see what kind of response we get. We've talked about different thresholds, but I certainly agree with Councilman Giarrusso that we're not trying to go after the mom and pops. We're looking at people that are $500, $1,000 plus in terms of sending them to ODR. Some of our larger fleet services, we've seen some high numbers there, and so definitely not trying to target the mom and pops.
And who's exactly qualifying for this kind of program, and how can people learn if they do qualify?
So the program is open to everyone, whether it be residents, visitors, anybody that has received either a parking or traffic ticket in the city of New Orleans. For parking tickets, those tickets would have to be delinquent for 30 days past due, and for automated traffic or photo safety, they would be 60 days past due or delinquent. There are multiple pages on the city's website. I know a lot of our social media pages for different departments and offices have also been putting out information. There's direct dials and other, even in person here at City Hall to be able to answer questions and direct folks to how to engage Promise Pay.
Understanding the CEA with the school board still needs to make it through the city council. Does the administration have a timeline on when that money will be released to the school board and the Sewage and Water Board?
There are some factors that are somewhat out of my control, so I hesitate to want to put a timeline on things that aren't in my control. I think the first step would be to introduce it at the June 12th regular city council meeting. We've already engaged intergovernmental IGR and are trying to move forward with that ordinance to approve the authorizing the mayor to sign the multi-year CEA with first OPSB, and then we would look to move on from there to the archdiocese as well as the other governing authorities of the other schools.
Can you kind of provide some context as to why you all are enforcing this program now? Is there a large number of people that have outstanding tickets, maybe thousands?
It's a great question. Millions. So, I mean, it's been reported on previously, I think 135, 145 million in outstanding tickets dating back 10 years. The data that we received when we transferred it from our current vendors to Promise was upwards of 180 million. So, it's quite a substantial number dating back 10 years.
The presentation that the administration gave the city council back in April estimated that you'd get $18 million back from this Amnesty program. Do you have any estimations as to how much money the ODR program will bring in?
We haven't run those numbers yet because, again, a lot of that factors on the buy-in we get with our actual Amnesty program over these 3 months. So, once we have once a couple months pass, I think we'll have a clearer picture.
Did we mention how long the program runs to?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, until August 1st.
How do you guys?
Sorry, August 31st. If I
31st,
misspoke.
yeah.
I might have missed it, but how do you guys plan on going about collecting? Like, what's the process that you guys are gonna try to go to get this money from these people?
That's a great question. So, Promise has a, I hope this isn't proprietary, but they have what they call the Nana test. So, I believe the CEO has an 85-year-old Nana and says, if my Nana can't figure out how to operate the system, it's too difficult. And so it's a very user-friendly system that is initiated with a text. That text we will also put on our city pages to make sure that people know that it is something that can be trusted, that they can use that link, and it will direct them to the proper portal, and that's how they would enroll with Promise.
The ODR indicated a participation agreement still needs to be finalized. Do we have any sense as to when that'll get done?
So I've worked with Brett Poirier on this. There are, as I understand it, 2 agreements, agency participating agreements, as you correctly identified. One is with finance through the city. It was signed by the mayor in, I want to say, August 2024. Another one, as I learned, is with police secondary employment. Again, as I understand it, signed by the mayor. The opinion has been that we could use those agreements. At the same time, we're not looking to send folks to ODR before August. So if we wanted to route something specific to parking and traffic or photo safety tickets, I think that would also be a viable option.
Yeah, to your point, they indicated an agreement specifically for parking and traffic. I guess, is that in the works? I mean, that would need to get signed presumably before you sent any accounts to ODR, correct?
Correct, and there are other steps that need to be taken before we can send folks to ODR, and so we've also been working with the director of their mailing, Ethan Vermillion, on sending those mailings, because you have to send a 60 and a 30-day notice before you send folks to ODR. You have to cite a specific state statute. I can't cite it from memory, but it's LARS and it's in Title 47, if I'm not mistaken. And that allows the city to be able to send those folks to the Office of Debt Recovery on day 61.
Forgive me, not to kick a dead horse here, but that agreement is coming, correct? Between the ODR and yourselves, that participation agreement.
So again, I just need, it's a good question. I need to revisit with Mr. Poirier just whether we can use the agreement. It's a 5-year agreement that's already in place, or if he desires for us to enter into a specific agreement. I'm amenable to either.
Anyone else? I guess my last question is, I know there's a lot of people that may have an outstanding ticket, like you said, 10 years ago, and they may not think it's important for them to pay it at this point. Could you kind of provide some context to what the funds would be utilized towards when they do make their payment and why it's important for them to pay it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. I think even as Chris has reported on previously, this money is used to pay for essential services, right? Even the tickets themselves, NOPD manpower and reviewing the tickets, for the most part, it goes in the general fund. I know with not to get too in the weeds, but with what's going on in the state legislature, we've been segregating some of these funds to try to protect the city's best interests. But for the most part, correct, the funds would go back into the general funds to pay for essential city services, the things that residents and citizens expect the city to perform. Yes, ma'am.